Dr. Akiva Gamliel, Belk, Dean of Jewish Studies at B'nai Noach Torah Institute, LLC. Welcome. Welcome to a taste of Torah in Genesis. Okay? And we're in Bereshit, that's Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, through chapter 6, verse 8. I have a nice little easy reading book. It's called Gematria Azer, and that means a lesson in Gematria. And we go through the weekly parshat. It's only a couple of pages for each parshat, so it's easy. And so when one is desirous of sharing a little dessert after the meal, and Gematria is a dessert, it's sweet. So if one wants to share a little Gematria around the Shabbat table, Erev Shabbat, Shabbat day, they may do so with friends and relatives. It's easy to follow and understand. We are just completing our cycle. This week was the week in which we celebrated Shemini Eretz, the 8th day, and left our Sukkah, and then Simcha Torah, rejoicing or being happy, joyful in the Torah. And so during this week we read Vizot Habraka, the last parshat in Deuteronomy, and we read Bereshit, the first parshat in Genesis. Now, when we conclude Vizot Habraka, there's a three-word phrase, Le'e ne kol Yisrael, for the sight of all Israel. Much of the time that Moses wrote about, and about a third of the mitzvot of HaTorah are recorded in Deuteronomy. And the Lord told Moses, go to the people of Israel. In the last 36 days of your life, share this last third, the last third of the 613 mitzvot, the mitzvot that were not given on Har Sinai. Share these and teach them to the people of Israel. And so what we see here is for in the sight of all Israel. Here we'd been in Mitzrayim, we had suffered, so many had died, our children had been thrown in the Nile, unfortunately. And what happens is the leader, Moses, our teacher, he comes on the scene and he goes to Pharaoh and he says, hey, I want you to let my people go. Set my people go so they can go and worship the Lord God in the desert. Of course, they didn't want to do that. And so all these miracles took place. And so it was for all the sight of Israel. And so what we have in the book of Deuteronomy is a lot of Moses summarizing what has gone on the last 39, 40 years. This is the 40th year, the 11th month, day 1 that begins, Devarim. And Moses is summarizing this. And so the Gematria in all the side of Israel is 761. But now, just to know about the miracles, that's just not enough. That's why we have Passover, that we can rehearse them, that we can teach them, that we can go over them in the eyes and to share them in the ears of our children. So it's necessary, v'nesheta, that we may drink in the miracles. And so here we've just completed the book of Deuteronomy, and now we're beginning the book of history, the book of Bereshit. And so we want to understand that as we do this, it's necessary to recognize that God did this in the sight of all Israel and the sight of many non-Jews as well. And the purpose is for us to enjoy it. The purpose is for us to let it come into us, to be part of us. Now, having said that, in Genesis chapter 1, as we move into our discussion, Genesis chapter 1, verse 4, we find the words et haor. And that is the Gematria of 613. And we know that the Gematria of 613 are the number of mitzvot, the number of commands God has given to the Jewish people in the Torah. Now, when we read this verse, we see, and God said, let my light be revealed, and there was light. Light of the Torah, light of the 613 commands of the Torah. Dear ones, we know that there was no light from the sun, there was no light from the moon, there was no light from the stars until the fourth day. Check it out. So we realize that when it says Et HaOr, it's referring to God sharing the light of HaTorah. Thank you for joining with me.